Is there no bad, no evil?
Humans have bad, humans have evil.
How about fear?
Oh, humans have lots of fear.
And with your insights now, greater than the average bear, have you been able to overcome your fear?
Oh, of course not.
Why would
I'm
you?
human.
But you've experienced
Right now,
what
I am.
almost nobody else living has experienced. You've experienced the awareness that there's nothing to be fearful of, because at the end of the line, when the bus stops, you get off into total bliss.
There's nothing to be feared eternally or ultimately, but you put me in front of a camera like this and I'm quaking in my boots. You know, there are lots of things that humans fear with good reason. It's built in. It's innate nature. And the fact that that I've had experiences that show me that I can get out of body, that I don't have to feel these things, that there's no ultimate consequences, that I'm part of Source. I mean, knowing all that doesn't take away from the fact that I'm in this human body and I experience what she does. And when she's fearful, I feel it too. And I can try to comfort her and I do the best I can, but I can't take that innate nature away from her and say, well, that's not valid, I'm not going to experience that because I don't want to.
I was raised Catholic to believe my faith was the one true religion, and you say there is no one true religion. What should we take from this as people struggle to understand where they are vis-a-vis with their own faith or spiritual tradition that they're raised in? Should they abandon them? Should they just look more broadly for all the good that comes from other faiths, or is there something else they should do?
Well, I was raised Catholic too, and I was a good little Catholic girl. I had the little altar in my room and everything, you know. I guess when I say there's no one true religion, I'm thinking in terms of dogma. That the religions out there, there's not one that, as far as I know, hits all the high points of the truth as I understand it. Should a person abandon their religion? No. Should they look at it critically? Yes. Look at the elements of what you have been taught and what you believe and see, is it unconditional love that you're being shown, or is it fear? If you're in a religion that tries to control you through fear, my perception is that's a human-based religion. It's not a source-based one.
A couple of final questions here. You talk about quieting the thinker. You talk about meditation, of allowing your light being to speak. How do you personally meditate?
Oh, in a rocking chair. I rock.
How do you quiet the 15-lane busy highway of continuous thoughts?
I'm kind of used to it, and I live a very quiet life. So it's not as hard for me as for somebody who's out there in the world, you know, going to a job and raising kids and, you know, having a husband, blah, blah, blah. I pretty much live in my bubble, and when I need information, and especially if I need it in a hurry, I sit in my rocking chair and I rock, and I just quiet my mind, just let it go.
Do you use a formula, a mantra? Do you use an image that you focus on? Some people use a candle.
No, and I can't always do it. I mean, sometimes I just can't keep the thoughts out. I just try to keep the thoughts out. Now, if I need a specific answer to a specific question, I'll say, I need information about X, and I form that intention. And then I just try to shut up and listen.
How do the others in your life see you now that you've been through all these experiences? Family, friends, former coworkers?
They're kind enough not to tell me.
They're kind enough not to tell you.
Yeah.
Do you hang out with anybody from your previous period of life?
No. But I think that's because, well, I left the firm. I mean, most of my friends were at my firm. When I left the firm, they kind of looked at that as a betrayal. And so those, you know, hurt feelings kind of kept us from communicating for a long time. So those just kind of fell by the wayside. My family and I think, are much closer, but it took a long time. They saw me as broken for quite a long time.
Did they understand anything that you were talking about that you've shared here with us today?
I don't think I even told them. I don't think I told them much. But I have found since my experience that I can relate best to other near-death experiencers.
And what about people who necessarily might not be part of that circle of people with that unique experience, but maybe on profound spiritual path, people who are really trying hard?
Those are the friendships that I form. I look for people like that. But I've also learned that everyone has such a beauty to them. I mean, maybe they don't have the full range of everything that I would need in a friendship or in a spouse or whatever, you know, from a human relationship standpoint. But everyone has such an intense beauty about them in some facet. And I can see people's souls, so I see that beauty shining through.
Does it ever puzzle you that people aren't more chomping at the bit to find the most exciting?
No, I think, oh my gosh, if they have a peaceful life in that regard, that would be wonderful. My 58 years in this body, all I've ever really wanted was not to be as aware as I am. I would love to be ignorant sometimes.
You don't view this as a precious gift, grace, blessing of the highest order?
No, I view it as that's the way we all are when we're out of a body, and I'd just as soon be just a little human being while I'm in this body.
Among the few last issues, one of free will. How about the ability to change our thoughts? Is that free will? Do you believe we have free will? Some people postulate we have no free will.
Oh, absolute free will. I mean, the source, you know, I wanted to come back here and sort of say, okay, fine, you know. I mean, what greater demonstration of free will could there be? We have absolute free will. We work in conjunction with others. I mean, we co-create our lives with those around us. So, and we're not, as spiritual beings, going to tromp on somebody else's goal or their path or whatever. So our free will leads us to be cooperative and to be collaborative.
Why have there been so few signs from beyond our human life? Why can't the Pope, Billy Graham, the Dalai Lama point to proof of people speaking or living beyond the grave? You've been there. But you're one in a million.
Oh, no, there are zillions of people out there. Well, I don't know about zillions, but everybody has had.
I don't know any of them.
Everybody has had some kind of spiritual awakening, some kind of information from universal knowledge, some contact with somebody who's crossed over. I mean, it's everywhere. It's a common experience. What isn't common is the fessing up to it. And our religious leaders are in a human structure where they are appointed to uphold and represent a particular frame of reference, a particular religion. They can't go off, you know, like saying anything and everything that they may feel or experience if it's not congruent with their public persona. Ask them in private what they think and feel. It may be different, I don't know. But there are no few instances out there. There are millions and millions of them. It's just people aren't speaking out. I mean, I would never have done this in a million years if I hadn't had the near-death experience that forced me into it.
Final question. When people die, why don't more of them communicate to us from the other side?
Oh, they do all the time.
To you?
Oh, my mom and dad, I always tell them they're better parents now than they ever were while they were in the body.
Did they communicate to you?
Oh, yes. All the time.
They advise you?
They advise me.
Counsel you?
No.
Share their love with you?
Yes. And when I'm in too much pain, I can ask them to take it away, and they will. And when I'm doing my self-healing and I'm just done with a physical, I've just had it up to here with a physical problem, I will say, okay, I'm ready for this to be gone now. And I think they infuse energy into me, help me like boost my energy up enough that I can get over it.
Nanci Danison, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's okay. Okay. But when I say you're where I want you to go, that is, the point is to realize that you can observe your own thinking. You can stand back, like Nancy's talking about, just all of a sudden it's there, or you can feel like you're connected to Source and observe what's going on in your mind. And I believe that the creative ways that you